What's going on, Angelo family? Welcome to the Angelo podcast. I'm here with my buddy Los. He is a UCLA student at the Luskin School of Public Affairs. Fun fact about Los is that he actually got into schools like UCLA, USC, UC Berkeley, University of Michigan, University of Chicago, and he was waitlisted at Harvard. So he had a very impressive resume coming into graduate school. So Los, welcome to the Angelo podcast, my friend.
It's a pleasure.
Of course. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Where did you go to undergrad? And what was your major during that time? And then I believe you also have a story prior to undergrad too, right?
Yeah. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. A little bit about me. I was raised in Los Angeles, non-traditional student, dropped out of high school for a few years and decided to go back to get my high school diploma in my mid-20s. And my personal experiences would encourage me to pursue a graduate school, degree in public policy at UCLA. But a little bit before that, I went to UC Irvine, did my undergraduate there.
Odds up, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's odds up, yeah. I did dual degrees in criminology and political science. And so I did graduate in 2022. I applied to, like you said, USC, University of Michigan, and got into both schools with have scholarship. I got into University of Chicago as well for their Master of Public Policy with a 90% tuition scholarship.
No way.
Yeah. And I got into Berkeley Golden School of Public Policy, technically on a full ride. They would cover my first year on plus.
Oh my God.
And my second year, they told me I was able to cover it through fellowships.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was, blessed. I just had it coming. And then I did get waitlisted at Harvard.
That's Harvard Kennedy, right?
Yeah, at Harvard Kennedy School. I accepted their waitlist offer.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get in.
Okay, on the wait list.
Yeah, after the wait list.
That's still impressive. Not a lot of people get into Harvard, let alone wait list, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And I did get into UCLA, and technically with a full ride as well. I got in with a good fellowship that was covering my first full year.
You gotta tell the audience what application process was like. What was your scores? Where is your grades in undergrad? And then how did you get full rides to all these amazing top schools?
So I didn't say this, but I did a fellowship during my undergrad.
Where at?
With PPIA, which is Public Policy and International Affairs. So this fellowship, what it does, it helps students from underrepresented backgrounds, help them pursue a career in public policy, but and also pursue graduate school.
Okay, cool.
And so if you are selected in part of this fellowship, then they help you out financially. They don't cover so it's not a guarantee that you'll get a full ride, but it does help in some shape or form because the school acknowledges that you come from the underrepresented background,
mm-hmm.
and that you are attached to this problem that you're trying to pursue.
Got it.
And trying to solve through public policy. In terms of my academics, I want to say I was okay. I had another A's and B's. I had a few C's. So my GPA was average. I would say it was 3.6 actually.
That is really, especially for undergrad, like a 3.6. Like a lot of people who watch this probably are in high school, college, or in grad school, whatever it may be. But basically, when you go to undergraduate, you get your undergraduate degree, everything's at a 4.0. So 3.6 is honestly an A- average already, or a high B+.
I would say a high B+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still extremely impressive. I know for a lot of med students, right, having a 3.6, 3.8, 3.9, you usually get into med school. And Carlos was going into a different type of grad school, so in the public affairs side.
Yeah. And so I want to say also that what did help me, one important part of the application process are the essays, the statement of purpose.
Statement of purpose, okay.
Statement of purposes and your personal statement. They really put a huge focus on what you say and how you say it. Just make sure we all have a great story to tell. Just make sure that it is well written, that it's sophisticated, and that you elaborate exactly why you're pursuing graduate school. And that really balances it out, and if you end up not having a good GPA.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, and I just feel like I was blessed enough to be considered for these for some generous scholarships that I did receive from every school that I was able to get into.
Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. Like,
Thank you.
it's crazy because I know how hard it is applying to graduate schools. I know how hard it is to just do well in undergrad, and I just know how much pressure you put on yourself to be successful, especially during the application process, especially during your first, second year of grad school. And the fact that Carlos got into all these top schools with a full ride is a testament of how hard he's worked in his whole career. Can you talk about the fellowship you did at UC Irvine? What was that like? What did you do? And kind of what was the commitment there?
Yeah, so I remember the first time I applied, I did not get in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I
It's a
think
fellowship. Yeah.
I did not get in, and I think one of the requirements is that you must be a third year,
Eh,
going into your fourth year, and so
transfer student.
yeah, and so I feel like that was my only opportunity, but because I decided to stay another year because I was doing a dual degree,
Yeah.
I was still considered for another opportunity to apply.
Oh, got it.
And so, but this time I decided to do things a little bit differently. So I started, looked for advice. Like I started like looking for people who had done this fellowship before,
Mm-hmm.
and asked them if they can guide me in terms of their essays, like in the essays and what I should do differently.
Okay.
And so, fun fact: at UCLA, Luskin School, they partnered with the SoCal chapter, with the PPIA SoCal chapter.
Oh, that's interesting.
I started attending their workshops, just trying to inform myself, like about the application process, what I can do differently. And they were offering up a mentorship program, so they partner you with a mentor, and that would guide you in the application process. And so I submitted the application, and when God's willing, they partnered me with Sean, who is also a Luskin alum and MPP, and also did the PPIA fellowship.
Wow.
Very good guy. He was with me through it all. He guided me through the application process. He told me what to put and what not to put, and how to kind of like make my story very compelling.
Yeah.
We all have a good story to tell, and so with it under his guidance, I submitted the second time, and I was able to get in.
That's crazy.
So the fellowship runs every summer, and I know UC Berkeley, University of Michigan, Princeton, and I think a Humphrey School in University of Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
They host these students. So each school takes about 20 to 30 students.
Uh-huh.
I know recently the University of Washington decided to be part of this, and just recently the Harvard Kennedy School decided to be decided to started hosting the PPIA fellowship as well.
Wow.
And that's something new. They weren't doing that. I know personally had been already doing that, but not in Harvard.
But not Harvard.
And so they selected they in the application process you can rank schools of choice, how you like where you wish to be placed, and I put Berkeley, and
you put Cal Berkeley. Did you want to go to the area?
Yeah, and also I did it based on my my research, because I'm specifically focused in education,
Mm-hmm.
and so I explained why I was choosing Berkeley as my first option, and I did they placed me in Berkeley, and so in the application process, not everyone gets placed in their school of choice.
Yeah.
So, but they have to accept that, although because there will be no other offer from any other school.
From any other school.
Yeah, and so it runs for 6 weeks. What this fellowship does, prepares students for graduate school. So they teach you courses at the graduate level, like
cool.
like economics, methods of public policy, politics and public policy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it technically prepares you for statistics for public policy.
For statistics as well.
They prepare undergraduate students, for graduate school, and kind of gives them an idea of if they want to pursue that,
Mm-hmm. That's interesting, man. And what did you kind of learn from this fellowship? And do you recommend students apply to this and for
Yeah, I do.
board?
I do. If you are interested in career in public service, or if you want to be a lawyer,
Okay.
and whether if you want to pursue public service at the state, federal level or international level, like at foreign
Foreign affairs.
Yeah. Like it's like I strongly recommend it. Like I did say Berkeley, but some schools do have an emphasis on different. So like I know there was like several schools that if you're interested to becoming a lawyer, they'll take in law fellows
Fascinating.
yeah. So it would be PPIA law fellow, but not every school does that. I know Berkeley does that. I'm not sure if it's Princeton. But I know if you're interested in foreign affairs, like other schools are even more,
Yeah.
more suited for you. And so if you're interested in any of those career paths, I strongly suggest that you apply to this fellowship. It's a PPIA, Public Policy International Affairs. It's a good fellowship. It comes with good benefits. I know at least for the SoCal chapter, they have their own alumni chapter with and they're always throwing in like career opportunities, job openings. So that's a good way to kind of stay connected with the people that not necessarily the people that were in your cohort, but people within the region.
Got it. Do you so with regards to this, so it seems like it was an amazing fellowship. You graduated UC Irvine. How was the application process for you? Like, any tips on how you select the schools you wanted to apply to? Because it seemed like you applied to, like, honestly, the top 10 schools all across the United States.
I did. For graduate school, right?
For grad school, correct?
Yeah. So this is where PPIA really came in super handy, because the application for PPIA, the essays, I want to say that they were at the graduate level.
Got it.
The application process was like already rigorous in the sense like of what it consisted. And so those essays that I wrote for this fellowship, I used them for my graduate school applications.
Oh,
but I did twist them obviously, because each school does not have the same questions. For example, like University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy, they only have 2 essays, and in one of them is like, why Harris, under 200 words.
That's so short.
Yeah, and why public policy under 300 words. So you really have to be intentional with
the way you articulate
every space, like every letter counts.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I did use those essays. I remember that when I was in undergrad, what I did, I set some time apart just for these for the school applications for these essays. So every day from 12 midnight all the way to 3 in the morning, I would stay editing my essays, and I stay committed. Like, even now that I'm like everything's done, there's times where I ask myself, like, where did I even get that energy from?
Yeah,
I'm burned out now, and I don't got time for any of this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I must have, really wanted it. I mean, I still do. This is why I'm here, and every day I'm grateful for it. But I mean, I just set some time apart, and I remember I was applying with my other friend who was also applying for a graduate school, and we would just stay committed. I feel like, editing essays with my friend really helped me out a lot, because we were just together, just in our focused from 12 to 3. Like, it was,
you wanted
we prioritized just that, and we put everything in the back burner. We ignored it. Yeah, I didn't hang out with friends. I didn't pick up calls. I ignore many calls.
Yeah.
And one thing I did want to say about this fellowship that I didn't mention earlier, the fellowship does also provide a stipend.
Oh, wow.
They provide housing and meals, and on top of that, they give you a generous stipend as well.
That's crazy. So Carlos kind of goes into a whole bunch of things here with regards to just sacrificing everything you have for that commonality, that goal, that dream you may have, right? You will, in the short term, have to give up certain things, like hanging out with friends, seeing family. But at the end of the day, you get to achieve your dream. And that's kind of how you feel like that fulfillment in life, when you sacrifice something that you're so determined to achieve. And that was Carlos for that fellowship. That was the graduate school for Carlos. So that is kind of what I guess want you guys to take away from this, is that it is okay to sacrifice, to tell your family, your friends, hey, I won't be there for a while. I'll be back. This is just merely a season in my life that I do need to put the work in to achieve this goal and this dream. And I hope as your friend, my family, or anybody, I hope you guys respect that. I'm so proud of you, Carlos, for doing that. I want to go over now getting into these schools. What was it like seeing those acceptances from each of these schools? And then tell me how you decided, I'm going to go to UCLA. I'm going to be a Bruin.
Yeah, so you're right. You did mention something earlier where I did apply to some of the best schools, and that's what I just had in mind, But I did obviously did some research, to each school and like what the program offers in terms of career placement, fellowship or internship opportunities, what their academic advisors are like, the classes that they offer, and the professors, if the professors, what they teach aligns with my interests.
Yeah.
So all that was I took that for consideration, really carefully, because like I said, some schools do have a different emphasis on different things. So it was just, I personally did not think that I was gonna, get into every single school.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember the first acceptance letter was from USC. It was
Wow, fine on, man. I know we're going to UCLA right now, but that's so cool, man.
It was in February as well.
Yeah.
I remember, and I was like, "Oh wow, I got into USC,"
Yeah.
And
How'd that feel?
I feel good, But I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but USC was not my top school.
Okay.
But I mean, it was exciting. The fact that I could have, be part of USC, the fact that, they were willing to chance on me.
Yeah.
And pursue my my graduate career there. I guess it didn't really sink in until like everything was said and done. Like when other schools, had already given me their final decision. Then I got into UCLA, and then they offered me a fellowship, one of their prestigious fellowship. I think it's called the Graduate Opportunity Fellowship Program.
Wow, that's
great. So it was first year, it gives you a stipend.
And how much is tuition at UCLA, if you don't mind us asking?
I think it's like $6,000 per quarter.
Wow, so around 20,000.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure if it's for the Anderson, but I know for the public affairs, there's a professional development fee.
Yeah,
you have to pay that for that.
I am not sure. Our tuition is just
I know,
crazy.
For us, we also have to pay a professional development fee, which is like $10,000 for the whole academic year.
Okay,
but yeah, it's
like 30.
$6,000.
Wow,
per quarter.
That's crazy.
So I mean,
and the program's 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, it is 2 years. This is my first year. I'm coming to an end, and I'll be in my second year. This fall.
So what have you learned this first year at UCLA? You got into so many great schools. I'm very proud of you, my friend. That's not easy at all. I remember when I was applying to schools, it was so stressful. And the fact that you actually had options and you got scholarships, so proud of you, man. What was your first year like at UCLA? What did you learn, man?
My first year was not what I expected. And this is mostly on the personal side, because I was going through some personal problems.
So far.
That were consuming me emotionally and mentally, that it took a toll on, on my academics as well. And also, me personally, I already, how can I say this? I'm not your regular student. I go through some stuff, like I suffer from anxiety, from depression. So that also, takes a toll.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was challenging, if you will, at least for me. But I mean, it's funny because when I was coming in, I thought I was gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm coming in all hot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just kind of like take over the world, like
mm-hmm.
and take on as many opportunities as I can. But it was nothing like that, And so one thing I've learned that is that no matter like what you say you want things to go down, like always be prepared that in life, not everything's not gonna go according to your plan, and it's okay if it doesn't. Life is full of ups and downs. So one day you're gonna be at the top, just enjoying life, and like everything that goes up comes back down, and so you're gonna be back down, just going through it as well. But remember that it's not forever. You're gonna go through it. I'm gonna go back up again. But yeah, it was nothing like I expected it. I'm kind of like settling in now starting the spring quarter, and I'm more like of myself, if you will. And just taking it day by day. Living in the moment. Enjoying my time here. I'm in a great school. Great program with good opportunities. I had the opportunity to meet you because in the graduate school you get to cross and roll, and so I've always been interested in the intersection of policy and business, how I can use what I learned in business classes and apply them like in my personal life, and to professional development. And so I'm here. Here I am. I met you. Through cross enrolling, and so I'm blessed to be here. And
that's the cool thing with me and Carlos is that fun fact, Carlos and I met at the social entrepreneurship class at UCLA. Essentially, the Anderson School of Business has classes with different folks from different schools, right? That's why we're able to meet up with the Luskin Public School of Policy. So Carlos actually and I enrolled in the same class at UCLA Anderson, and we were learning about a lot about just social entrepreneurship. So like Homeboy Industries. We learned about the Downtown Women's Center here in Los Angeles and just the nonprofits and how they affect the world. And that's how kind of Carlos and I came in contact. We sat next to each other, became like great friends, and now we're here filming the podcast. And it's so cool because I think the beauty of life is that you will cross paths with different people. So put yourself out there, right? Yeah. Carlos was in the School of Public Policy at Luskin, and then he wanted to learn more about business side of things because he understands, hey, when I get out of school, I want to probably build a business. I want to help the world out in a financial way and help my family and me out in a financial way. So I want to take these business school classes. That's how we got introduced with each other. And it's just been a pleasure hanging out with Carlos. And I just learned so much from him. And that's why I kind of wanted him on this podcast, is because his story was so beautiful, where he came from, all the schools he got into. And I told him, hey, you need to share this story because there's probably a kid somewhere out in the world who looks like you, who looks like me, who just needs some advice, right? And your story could change their life. And when I heard Carlos' story, it gave me goosebumps. And I'm so happy he kind of came on the podcast. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you're right. I just, one of this class that we're taking together, it teaches like students how to do some social impact using business models. And also because personally, I'm not that type of person that keeps, eggs in the same basket. Mm-hmm. I'm always open to different, different opportunities, even if they're outside of public service. And even though I do have a passion for public service, and I'm married to the problem, that brought me to graduate school in public policy, I'm actively, looking into ways how I can, take my life from one place to another, and that's even through the business sector as well. I'm thinking of, I've been playing with the idea of opening a business. I have friends who are business owners.
Talk about this. I know I do want to mention.
And so this is something that has been taken in, so I have, for example, I have a friend who went to high school. He didn't even went on to pursue community college, and now he's a barbershop owner. He owns 2 locations.
Oh wow, that's
yes, and so just having that kind of connection. I also have another friend who's also a business owner. He owns a smoke shop, with no school, just high school, and so I started looking into them. Well, perhaps I can do my own business, while I pursue public policy. I mean, I think that's the beauty of life. You don't have to kind of stay and put in one place, but you can always jump on to the next thing and actively learn. Just don't stay stagnant, if you will. If I'm correct, using the correct word for this.
Yes, just keep growing.
Yeah, just keep growing. And so that's my goal in life. And so one thing I was telling you, I was looking into the ATM business.
Talk about it. Yeah. I'm excited.
It's pretty easy, but it's challenging at the same time because, there's ATMs everywhere. So what I did, I opened a DBA, I registered it. I had to publish it according to California law. And then I emailed the Los Angeles city, because this is where I'm interested in placing my ATMs, for tax purposes. And once that's said and done, then you can purchase your first ATM for between like 3,000 and 5,000. But you have to obviously build it with time. That's something that you build with time, and you buy multiple ATMs, and with several machines, and you can generate on passive income. And that's you don't have to hire anybody for that. You just have to like visit the ATM for like once every week for maintenance.
Put the money in, make sure
put the money in. Well. You could put the money in like by yourself, but the money won't be insured, or you can get a contract with the bank, and the bank will install it for yourself. But then they also have to take some percentage of that. But the best way to see some profits of that is to with multiple machines. There was this portfolio that I seen on the website.
Yeah.
This guy was selling his portfolio for I think it consisted of 12 ATM machines, and after costs and maintenance, he was profiting over like 7,800 a month. And that's just passive income. Like tell me that, like, obviously it takes time. You have to build, but I mean, by the time that you're there, you're gonna be like just really glad that you're there.
You did it.
Yeah, and so that's just my personal experience right now. I haven't purchased my first ATM yet, but I'm in the process of that. And I think the challenging part will be looking into locations. You have to go to like smoke shops, like anywhere where you feel like ideally it's a good place to have an ATM, and you ask the owner, hey, can I put my ATM here? Obviously, you're gonna have to take some cut, but I mean that's how they do it.
That's exciting, and I'm very excited for Carlos for taking risks with his career, with his life, because at the end of the day, whatever's worth in life is going to take time. You need to make a risk. And I was telling Carlos, I was like, hey, this is actually a really great business venture and entrepreneurial idea. And I think you should document everything on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever it may be. Because if you document on YouTube, it's what you're doing, what you're building is building a business. And that's heavily finance-based content, business-based content. And when you do this type of kind of content, you tend to get a lot of ad revenue. So I can even imagine you collecting that $6,800 from your ATMs later down the road, but then you're getting paid, say, $2,000-$3,000 in AdSense a day, where if you get really, really big. It's kind of like Graham Stephan, how he talks a lot about real estate investing and just business and finance in general. A lot of money is coming from ad revenue from YouTube once you become monetized, because it's heavily business focused. And when you have a business focused channel, a lot of the advertisers are willing to spend more money in Google AdSense, and then you collect more of the profit. I think there's like 55-45 split. So hopefully we will include Carlos's channel down below for his YouTube as well as Instagram. So that way Carlos can document this journey and show you guys what it's like to open a business from scratch and then have that scale. I think that is something to be very valuable for the community, especially for someone who's starting in this entrepreneurial realm, someone who's in business school with me, and finishing up his master's at Luskin Public School of Policy. So it's going to be very exciting, Carlos.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we're coming up at the end of the podcast now, and I always love ending the podcast with one last question. What is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
To my younger self. That's a good one. Just keep going. And always believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, people will believe in you. Yeah, I would just say keep going and never give up, and stay committed. And it's okay to change plans and be okay that not everything's gonna be okay with it, and know that at the end everything is gonna be okay. If it's not okay, then it's not the end until it's okay.
Love it, brother.
Yeah.
Just be okay. I love it. Just keep growing, keep believing in yourself, because people will believe in you.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Jello family, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to include all of Carlos's links down below for his YouTube channel, for his Instagram, and we're also going to probably clip everything so that you guys can watch clips of this, because this has been super extremely insightful and helpful. Carlos, you're the man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming to the podcast. And please like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you, Los.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Joel fam. Peace. Have an amazing day. We'll catch you guys later. Any last words, Carlos, before we go? Actually, before I forget.
I don't have any last words. Just follow me if you can, and hopefully I can be some source of advice.
Yeah, Carlos is an amazing source of advice, an amazing person, one of the coolest guys you will ever meet. And my guy always puts a smile on my face every time we hang out in class. So,
Thank you. Appreciate you likewise.
See you, Jello fam. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.